Today on the 5-Minute Book Review, starring Curtis and Ian, we take a look at the life of the Dynamite Kid in Pure Dynamite. Most Canadians will remember Tom Billington as one half of the British Bulldogs, who were huge stars in Calgary's own Stampede Wrestling, as well as the World Wrestling Federation back in the day. Well, this book is interesting and different than other wrestling autobiographies for a couple of reasons. The first, it's only 200 pages, about half the length of all others. And second, this book is not affiliated or endorsed by the WWE in any way, so he can say whatever he wants, and he does. Coin toss to start, and Curtis is the winner. Today on the 5-Minute Book Review, starring Curtis and Ian. Hey, it's time. Let's do another wrestling autobiography. This time it's the Dynamite Kid's Pure Dynamite. I don't think I've ever seen a Dynamite Kid match in its entirety. I know nothing about the British Bulldogs. It was before my time as a wrestling fan. I see every once in a while like a clip of him in a highlights reel or whatever, or looking at the past, the 80s, the 70s. So I went into this with kind of low expectations, and I have to admit, it is probably my favorite wrestling book I've read, to be honest. I don't know why. It has got to be the way he writes it. The most annoying thing about the Bret Hart and the Shawn Michaels and the Mick Foley ones, and they're all good books, but they explain everything about the business to you that you obviously already know if you're reading the autobiography of Bret Hart. You know what a superplex is. You don't need to be explained to what a superplex is, and this guy never does it. He tells it. He talks to you like you actually know what's going on, and he's negative, but not like annoyingly negative. Ian?
Well, I can understand him being negative about it. I mean, his end of his time in the business was being put in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. I can see that giving him some very poor memories of some of it. I mean, it's a stellar book. He sticks to his story, very closely to his story. It's not a business book. It's this is my life story book, and it's a good read. If you're interested, it's a damn good read. My only issue with it is my same issue with most wrestling books, is it comes across a little whiny at times. I think I keep reading these books and they keep complaining about the industry and they complain about their place in it, but yet they're still in it for such long periods, and they say they do it for the love, but then they end up like the Dynamite Kid. They end up in wheelchairs, and you're kind of asking yourself, I'm always left asking, why do you continue to do this if, well, obviously in this case not so much, but why do you continue to do it if it's something that had annoyed you and was so horrible, and there's so many aspects of it that you just downright hated throughout your entire time in the industry? It's just a question I'm constantly left asking.
I actually felt he wasn't nearly as whiny as every other book I've read. There was a lot that went wrong with him, but even at the end, he was like, he just kind of laid it out and was like, this is a very unique industry where you get to tour the world and make a lot of money, but you pay the price with your health. And even in the wheelchair, he said, you know what? I wouldn't change anything. I had a great life. Sure, it's kind of rough now, but no other way would I have been able to do what I did and afford the lifestyle I had. And he's the only person that ever actually said that.
No, it's a fair point. He is very honest about it and about what he enjoyed about it too. I think it's something that maybe it's not my concern with it. It's not about his book in particular. It's overall. I'm never completely sure I understand it. But Dynamite Kid wrote one hell of a book. It's unlike the Bret Hart book, which is 600 pages, I believe. This book is far more compact. It gets the same point across, and it does it in a more concise, and I think a lot of times in a more interesting fashion. I'm not a big, like I said, I don't know his career extremely well, but you know what? It's still a very, very, very interesting book.
You really hit the nail on the head, though, with the only 200 pages. That's all it needs to be. And 3 pages in, he was talking about working for Stampede Wrestling, and one of the Hart brothers used to be a referee, and he said after every match, the villain or the heel would push this referee, and he would always bounce off the ropes, do cartwheel, and kick the villain in the stomach. Now, any other book, they would have spent the next 2 pages talking about how that affects business, and you've got a weak-looking heel, and then when he's not going to make any money when he goes against the top baby face, and they're not going to make any money, it's a waste of time, it's a bad move. His is, he comes off the ropes, does a cartwheel, and kicks the villain in the stomach. Period. Jerk. Period. Brilliant.
Oh, absolutely.
That's all you need. Again, if you're reading a book about the Dynamite Kid, you know about wrestling. You don't have to be talked to like you're 6.
You're not going to pick up a book about wrestling if you don't know pretty much everything about it already. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's a niche.
It is.
Again, seriously, never saw a match of his. This is the best wrestling book that I've read. Agreed. I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely agreed.
Thumbs up.
Oh.